McMahon feud with Vince McMahon. From 1999 to 2001, McMahon feuded with Vince throughout mid-1999. At one point, she and Stephanie supposedly gave their WWF stock to Stone Cold Steve Austin, granting him a great deal of power. Austin lost these powers to Vince and Shane McMahon in a handicap ladder match. In 2000, McMahon forced Triple H to defend the WWF Championship at WrestleMania 2000 in a fatal four-way elimination match. She also reinstated Mick Foley, whom Triple H had forced to retire, and acted as his manager at WrestleMania. Throughout 2000, she was the only McMahon not to support Triple H and was slapped by Stephanie as a result. At Backlash 2000, she led referee Earl Hebner to ringside during a match between Triple H and The Rock with Shane as the guest referee, after Stone Cold had come to the ring and knocked out Triple H and Shane. Hebner countered the pin, costing Triple H the WWF Championship. Later, Mick Foley returned to the WWF as commissioner with the blessing of McMahon. At the same time, Vince McMahon went on a hiatus, claiming that he had realized why McMahon was opposing him. She wanted another baby. Dubbing himself the genetic jackhammer, Vince left for several months. Vince returned to the WWF and began campaigning to have an upcoming six-way Hell in a Cell match canceled because he feared that his investments, the participants, would be injured. On December 7, 2000, he asked Commissioner Foley to cancel the match, but Foley refused. McMahon backed Foley, and an outraged Vince demanded a divorce. The following week, Vince was informed that McMahon had been rushed to the hospital after suffering a nervous breakdown. He initially appeared grief-stricken, but then revealed that he was actually overjoyed at the news. With Linda in a sanitarium, the board of directors appointed Vince as CEO on December 18, allowing him to fire Mick Foley. With McMahon apparently comatose as a result of her breakdown and the sedatives that Vince ordered to be administered, Vince began having a very public affair with Trish Stratus. This led to Shane returning to defend his mother's honor and challenging Vince to a street fight at WrestleMania X7. Before the event, Foley returned with a pile of contracts which Linda had signed before her breakdown, one of which entitled him to referee any match of his choosing. Foley decided to referee the WrestleMania street fight. At WrestleMania, with McMahon at ringside in a wheelchair, Vince appeared to be winning after Shane injured himself by executing a flying elbow drop on Vince, while Vince was unconscious on the announcer's table. However, Stephanie dragged Vince out of the way before Shane landed. Once Stephanie had been removed from ringside by a now-face Stratus, and after Vince prepared to finish Shane off by hitting him with a trash can, McMahon stood up, apparently no longer sedated, and kicked Vince in the groin. The distraction allowed Shane to defeat Vince. On April 9, 2001, McMahon resumed her duties as CEO and asked Vince for a divorce. She harassed Vince over the next few months, forcing Vince's chosen champion Steve Austin to defend the WWF Championship and supporting Shane McMahon and World Championship Wrestling, which he had just purchased. Vince and Linda would reconcile, however, in October 2001 when they realized that the alliance of WCW and ECW purchased by Stephanie McMahon was going to attempt to destroy the WWF. On March 18, 2002, Linda announced that WWE would be divided into two brands, RAW and SmackDown, as a result of the rivalry between Vince and Ric Flair, whom prior to the Invasion storyline had bought Shane's and Stephanie's shares in WWE to equal the power of Vince. On April 28, 2003, Linda McMahon confronted RAW General Manager Eric Bischoff after he booked Trish Stratus in a match with himself, where Stratus would be forced to sleep with Bischoff if she lost. To balance the presence of Bischoff, Linda appointed Steve Austin as the co-general manager of RAW. After Austin had allowed Kane to burn Jim Ross, Linda returned to WWE on July 21 to tell Austin that he could not attack anyone unless physically provoked. Kane tombstone Linda at the end of RAW, injuring her neck and infuriating Shane. While Linda was giving an interview from her home on August 18, 2003, Bischoff appeared, seemingly with amorous intentions, but was removed by security guards. Linda accompanied her daughter Stephanie to ringside for her October 19, 2003 I Quit match at No Mercy 2003. When Stephanie was choked by Vince with a pipe, Linda threw a towel into the ring, conceding defeat. On December 1, 2003, Linda once again reinstated Mick Foley, this time appointing him as an outside consultant to RAW in order to monitor Eric Bischoff. Foley eventually resigned from his post during a heated feud with Randy Orton. McMahon from 2005 to 2007. On October 10, 2005, Linda's character took a surprise villainous turn when she fired Jim Ross and delivered a low blow to him. Apparently, a stone-cold stunner that she had suffered a week earlier on RAW by Austin during WWE Homecoming set her on edge. Linda's heel turn was hinted at Homecoming a week prior, when she asked Austin to apologize for having just given the other members of her family stunners. Austin complied, but then, after inviting her to drink a beer with him, gave her a stone-cold stunner as well. She is one of 7 women who have been given a stunner by Austin.